Hi, Com 231. We have a persuasive speech outline due Monday. So if you go to Moodle, you'll see where it says persuasive speech outlines due, and there are 2 templates in there labeled that you can choose from to fill in and submit for your outline Monday. And then Friday, you will need to submit your speech by midnight. So a couple things that are different between the informative speech and the persuasive speech. One is that if you look on the rubric for the persuasive speech, which is also in Moodle, you need to cite 3 sources. So you need to verbally cite these sources during the speech. So you would say, according to a Harvard study, and then you would say the information, or according to Dr. So-and-so, give the information. You would not wait to the end of the speech. You want to cite these sources during the speech while you're giving the information, and this makes you more credible. So this really helps your speech and helps persuade your audience. The other difference is that for the persuasive speech, you need to include a refutation. Refutation is where the audience who you're trying to persuade has a different viewpoint, so you answer their viewpoint during the speech. So if you were giving a speech on adopt, don't shop, for pet adoption in the shelter, and you knew that some people were going to say, oh, I don't want to adopt from the shelter because I want a puppy. You could refute that by saying, I realize, so first you have to acknowledge the opposing side respectfully and say, I realize some people don't want to adopt because they want a puppy, and then you refute and you would say, but they have puppies at the shelter. And if someone were to say, oh, I don't want to adopt at the shelter because the dogs could have emotional problems, and then you would say, I understand some people are hesitant to adopt from the shelters because they fear that they'll end up with a dog with emotional problems, but, and then you refute, dogs are not adopted out if they are not ready. They will go to a foster home until they have been rehabilitated to be into a home from the adoption shelter. So that's how you refute. So those are the 2 differences. Everything else is the same. So as far as eye contact, look at the camera. And as far as vocal qualities, have a conversation and try to avoid the ums, and you know who you are. If you're an or a like person, you know that already. Plus, I would have put that in the feedback from your informative speech. So that's the same. The introduction's the same, where, remember, there's 4 things you want to accomplish in the introduction. First, grab the audience's attention. And you can do that with a quote, a statistic. Those are a question. Those are all very popular ways to grab the audience's attention. And you want to state what it is you're going to try to persuade your audience. You want to say why you're credible to do that. That's the 3rd thing. So did you do research? Have you been volunteering at the shelter? And then the last thing you want to do is preview the main points of your speech. So those are the 4 things to accomplish the introduction. And then in the body, you want to be sure that you include the refutation in your 3 sources. And then don't fall short on that conclusion, right? Remember, the conclusion, you can come back and mirror the introduction. You can use the same quote. You can come back to the question, whatever it is that you used in introduction. Bring it to a psychological close for the audience in your conclusion. It's 4 to 6 minutes, and the visual aids are optional this time for the persuasive speech. And if you have any questions, just let me know. Thanks, guys.